When news breaks, we are already there. Welcome to Prime TV to Zambia, the channel that never sleeps. From community stories in your backyard to national headlines shaping the country and sports and international updates that keep you ahead, we bring it all to your screen. 24/7 news, fast, reliable, unmatched. Catch us on Topstar, channel 110. Watch live on Facebook, PTV to Zambia. Prime TV to Zambia, your window to the nation, your gateway to the world.
Early in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Mama in the kitchen, we never eat alone. Primarily me, the taste of home.
Prime Meal, pure, proudly Zambian, the taste of home.
Good morning, Zambia. It is a Friday and the nation is just waking up. The roads are busy and of course there is a lot happening already this morning in terms of news. The Sunrise Breakfast Show right here on Prime TV 2 wakes you up each and every, not every morning, well, on Monday, on Wednesday, and of course on Friday to give you nothing but the very best of those morning vibes. Do remember that you are catching us live, that is on Topstar channel 110, and of course on our Facebook page, that is PTV2 Zambia, as well as YouTube and our website as well. And definitely we are fully awake, never negotiating with the alarm. I'm not alone in the studio. Of course, my name is Rhoda Mlinga, and I do have my colleague.
My name is Kapili Dominic. My mood is activated, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I hope other people have come with bottles of water, because today we are going to have a serious day, and I hope the water that we are going to have will be turned to something better, because one of our guests today is a very interesting guest, and it's Friday, so we need to be happy today.
Definitely not forgetting that Fridays are special. We do talk, we question, we challenge, and of course sometimes we make our guests slightly uncomfortable, but it's all good. It's good uncomfortability, right?
Oh yeah, no, the uncomfortability is good and very respectful. You know, we ask the hard questions. We have this. We have the conversations that people fear to have. But you know, we are the home of breaking news, so we need to ask the real questions and talk about the conversations that people fear to talk about. But at the end of the day, today is a very good day. We're going to have a beautiful breakfast show, leading us into the beautiful, lovely weekend. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like we did say, the roads are busy, but wherever you are headed to, whether you are going to school, you are going for work, any other business that you're doing, definitely you can also catch us live on our Facebook page, PTV2 Zambia, right on your phone. Now, we do have an interesting guest who will be joining us later on as we go on with the show, Mr. Stanley Chewemsonda, who is Kasama Community Development Advocate, here to share a little bit of what exactly Kasama is like, obviously the developments that are taking place there, some of the challenges, as well as any other developmental issue that this country is currently facing.
Oh yeah, and we're also going to be having a very interesting special guest. That's why I said I hope people have come with water.
Exactly.
You know, the first miracle that was performed by Jesus was to turn water to wine.
Is he doing that?
I've come with my water. I don't know about you. the weekend is here. My mood is activated.
Why didn't you say this earlier, Dominic?
You know, you need to think first. So the fire was out there. The world is seeing. I don't know why you didn't see it.
You're sharp. It's a Friday. You came with your water.
You need to be sharp, these things.
I know salaries have already disappeared. Then we need to have a plan B or something like that.
I think that's what we need. Yeah. Then we're also going to be having in the entertainment side, we're going to be having an upcoming artist, of course. I don't know when an artist stops becoming an upcoming artist. So we'll be having a conversation with them and seeing what challenges they're facing in the music industry, and from them I need to ask and find out what will make you no longer be an upcoming artist.
Exactly.
Because an artist is an artist, you know. There's no such thing as an upcoming or not coming, or you know, an artist is an artist. That's what I believe in. But I think we need to talk about such things and delve into such things. And did you see what was trending on social media yesterday about the dress code of Ugandan president who came?
Ghanaian first lady?
Yes. No. The Ghanaian president. Yes. Who came?
The traditional outfit.
Yes, the traditional outfit that was talked about, and one of the content creators passed a very interesting, funny comment about Zambia and about our president. But you know, when you delve down to these things, their country is not even on the list of processing cotton. So even that cotton they used to make that, they didn't get it from their country. I felt very bad that they said that thing, you know, because even us, they can come to our country. We make such things. Let them come to our traditional ceremonies, you know, and then. But you know, anyway, it's content. But you know, yeah.
I liked the fact that some social media influencers, especially in Ghana, took that as a light moment to also just educate, an opportunity as well to educate the rest of the continent on the importance of, you know, representing your country.
Now,
that's
using our president to educate as a
what
sample. No. You can't do that. You come to our head of state and use him as a sample.
I'm talking about the outfit that
I understand.
Ghanaian,
I understand.
So I'm speaking on my behalf, by the way. You also have your opinion, but I'm
speaking
in the capacity of. I do like the fact that some social media influencers from Ghana came out and used that opportunity to say, even though Zambians are laughing at that attire, it's actually their traditional outfit that represents Ghanaians. John Dumelo was actually one of the actors, famous actors in Ghana that came on social media and wore that same outfit on a bike and said, I'm on my way to Zambia right now. So most of them jumped on that trend. And I think that also just is creating a good relationship between Zambia and Ghana.
Of them until they made fun of us.
Well, we made fun of each other. At the end of the day, it's a light moment.
But you can't
Whether we
use-
argue about it or not, the presidents are together right now.
They used
were having dinner last
Commander
night.
One as a sampler. That's why my guys, right?
But I love that. Even though it's funny, it's good to embrace you.
Yeah, then there was also that story where the young 23-year-old girl died while in labor, and yesterday was the burial, and I could see the father cry and see the mother also of the deceased cry, and she left a young boy, and it was very sad for me that this guy, I think he was in the age of 5 or so, he was crying, and it made me very emotional because, you know, I don't understand I don't know if he understood what was really going on, or he was just hearing things, but because the situation was so bad and emotional, the child kept on crying. I don't know if that child, the trauma will continue. I really don't know, but I felt so bad, and it was very emotional for me yesterday.
Heartbreaking indeed.
Yeah.
Right, so we do have quite a number of stories that we'll be highlighting this morning. So Dominic did mention earlier on about the president of Ghana. Just in case you're wondering, the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, is currently in Lusaka, Zambia on a 3-day state visit, which started from the 4th to the 6th of February, which is today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At the invitation of President Hakainde Hichilema during the visit, Mahama has been received with full protocol, held bilateral talks at State House, addressed the Zambian parliament, and also engaged in discussions to deepen diplomatic and economic cooperation between Ghana and Zambia. So now, apart from that social media drama that was happening, obviously there's quite a lot of other important things that they did sit down and discuss to see how these two countries can further their relationship. So it's definitely a good look for Zambia and Ghana.
Yes, and I like how the president of late has been having conversations and meeting at different heads of state. Yeah, and it's a good thing for unity. Number one, it's a good thing for development, and it's also a good thing for economic growth, because we don't have to always go to the United States for us to have a meeting, or for them to say, you guys talk and whatnot. We can build on ourselves. We can live on ourselves, you know. We actually, most of the things that they use to sustain themselves, they get it from our country, our countries in Africa. Because even the cotton, you know, the cotton that we were trying to laugh about, whatnot, and that cotton is gotten from here, then processed outside and brought back, whether it comes back in a suit or it comes back just as cotton and you make what you want. At the end of the day, it's processed outside outside our continent. So the more we have such conversations with different leaders, the more we will start to talk about sustainable growth and talk about us being self-reliant as Africa and also as countries. So I feel this is a very good step the President, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, is doing, and we hope for the best as things continue, and we only pray that things change and things get better for Africa as a whole.
Let's not forget how elegant our First Lady looked last night. I think that's top notch.
Too much.
The dress, the shoes, the hair.
She's always on point. She's always on point, yeah.
All right, so back home, of course, we do have some trending stories, and one of them being that Mchinga Province Permanent Secretary, Reverend Matthews Chilekwa, has warned public service workers, agro-dealers, and farmer input support program, FISP, beneficiaries against any form of malpractice in the administration of the program. Speaking during a stakeholders consultative meeting on FISP in Isoka District, Mchinga Province Reverend Chilekwa said his office will not tolerate corruption and mismanagement. He also notes that while the program was well intended, its effectiveness had been severely undermined by persistent mismanagement by both government officials and, of course, some beneficiaries. So the Reverend says small-scale farmers form the backbone of Zambia's agriculture economy and therefore require strong support to enhance production and stabilize the country's economy. Let's have a look at this.
The Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Leveland Matthews Chilekwa has embarked on a provincial tour aimed at accessing service delivery and engaging stakeholders across the districts. Leveland Chilekwa, accompanied by his team, began the tour in Mafinga district before proceeding to Isoka district. The meeting in Isoka opened with presentations from various government ministries outlining progress, challenges, and ongoing development programs in the district.
Farmers was from 12,174. Lero apa pali babiri abalundirweko kuti mwatira tilimbe bafumire ku kapirironga nangu kunzoje nibesa aba babiri aba dawe nibakana besa system ya twalibo mpya same system kuti ta facilitate impumushibiri.
We first interrogate them that no business in Shimule for Kuchita. Ngabalanda tawo tulepanga tukapokeko office ko. Tuleshiba kuti jabali rent tulabachita sensitize and what not. So
words to say the new Dawn administration, which came in power in 2021, has an ambitious agenda. The agenda is to move this country forward. He realized when he inherited this government, there were a lot of things that he found, and he said for him to move this country forward, there are certain things that we need to address. One of them, I've said, is prudent economic management.
In his keynote address, the Permanent Secretary affirmed government commitment to taking development closer to people, saying the new Dawn administration under President Hakainde Hichilema remains focused on inclusive and sustainable development across all parts of the country.
What does the president mean? We like luxury over than sacrifice as citizens of this country. And whenever we fail, we point it to the president that he has failed. Yes, failed. But when up to sense, it's us who are failing to come out from these challenges that we are facing. There is no government in this country that has empowered the people than this government ever, even from independence.
Meanwhile, Leveland Chilekwa issued a stern warning against malpractices in the Farmer Input Support Program FISIP.
Awama cooperatives aya ewa ishbafe mweka na kaki na members tababako. There are certain places where people benefited from the fertilizer, but those people, they don't exist.
The Permanent Secretary's next engagement will be in Nakonde district before proceeding to the remaining district in Muchinga province. Richard Zambia, reporting for PAM TV News, Isoka, Muchinga province.
So now, as most of you do know that the 2025-2026 farming season, the program has fully transitioned to the electronic voucher system countrywide, meaning that farmers do now receive electronic vouchers that they redeem for inputs at registered agro dealers rather than collecting bulk inputs from pre-positioned government stocks. So that also means that there could be a lot of what do you call that? There could be a lot of someone wanting to jeopardize the system and you know, benefiting from that. So Reverend Chilekwa has warned that this should not be the case.
Yeah, especially with this technology coming in, it's quite very a serious topic that to talk about. Yeah, so I think that's why we usually even see when such things are happening, internet just cuts. You know what I mean? It's not only in Africa, only in Zambia, but if we saw different countries or so, we see them in different countries, such things happening. Yeah. So yeah, going forward, Senior Education Standard Officer for Languages in charge of Lusaka Province, Dr. Jeremiah Mwanza, says the current training of languages and literacy teachers on the implementation of the competence-based curriculum will ensure quick adaptation to the curriculum. He explained that the training is aimed at equipping teachers with skills to successfully implement and adapt to the new based curriculum. He was speaking in Silverest School in Chongwe, and it's a coincidence that this school is actually in Palavana. Let's have the report.
Competence-based curriculum, or CBC for short, is an educational approach focusing on learners mastering specific skills, knowledge and attitudes, rather than just accumulating classroom time. It was introduced in the year 2023 and implementation began in 2025. The CBC approach transforms the role of the teacher from a lecturer to a facilitator and mentor, ensuring that learners are actively engaged in the learning process. To this effect, some teachers are being trained on its successful implementation. This is through workshops being done by the Languages Teachers Association of Zambia with support from the British Council. Officiating at the third workshop being held in Chongwe District was the Senior Education Standards Officer for Languages in charge of Lusaka Province, Dr. Jeremiah Mwanza, who says the current training of language and literacy teachers on the implementation of CBC will ensure quick adaptation to the said curriculum.
You know that in the implementation of the 2023 curriculum, teachers had issues, especially when it came to lesson planning. Therefore, the presentation by the British Council is helping us a lot. And I know that as they go through that lesson plan, everyone will go back competently and implement the new curriculum in a better way.
Dr. Mwanza explained that the training is aimed at equipping teachers with skills to successfully implement and adapt to the new CBC. And District Resource Center Coordinator for Chongwe, Timothy Zimba, says the training offers teachers with required competence to deliver the CBC, which will in turn equip scholars with the required education.
As going forward as a district, we promise to implement correctly and do the right thing and be able to deliver so that that child may acquire the right competences to be used in their lives. We thank you and we are so grateful, especially to the British Council, for extending their arm to the district.
Meanwhile, one of the presenters at the workshop, who is head of department for Palabana Secondary School, Angela Nyerenda, says the training will also help teachers acquire skills on how to handle classes in English, noting that previously it was not easy for teachers to implement the CBC, but with the training being offered, teachers will now share different ideas that will yield a successful implementation.
Because previously it has been not easy in order to implement the CBC. So we were trying to teach each other so that we deliver accordingly. Like my presentation, which was on English in a multilingual classroom, it is very important because these are the learners that we are able to encounter, especially here in Lusaka. We have children of multiple languages, so it's not easy probably on how to teach English. So we are trying to share ideas, how to lesson plan and how to deliver. So it is really important that we do such, and this workshop is really important.
And Languages Teachers Association of Zambia has assured that with such training being offered, service delivery will be improved, resulting in a greater education system. Reporting for Prime Television News, Namangolo Mshoka.
Thank you so much for staying glued to the Sunrise Breakfast Show right here on Prime TV2. Do not forget that we are live on Topstar, that is channel 110, and also live on our Facebook page, that is PTV2 Zambia, where you can leave your comments and your contributions in the comment section. Now, this morning on set, I am joined by Mr. Stanley Chewemsonda, who is, of course, Kasama Community Development Advocate, and he is also pushing for fertilizer and soil testing lab in Northern Circuit through a union they formed called Chikamonika Development Agri Cooperative Union. Northern is agriculture dependent regions. Good morning, welcome to our Sunrise Breakfast Show.
Yeah, good morning, Madam Lenga, and good morning, viewers. And allow me to greet Infumusheshu Shamurubemba, Chief Stemkulu, Chief Senior Chief Mwamba, Mungongeni Infumfeshwanse, and Deti, my good program. Thank you, Mama.
All right. So now, obviously, people would want to find out why exactly are you advocating for community development in Kasama?
The reasons why we are advocating actually for this are many. Kasama historically has actually been left behind. We are not actually developed as compared to you guys actually here in Lusaka. And in Kasama, we have got abundant rainfall, population is high for the youths, and also we are inclusive, anyone can actually live in Kasama, but we don't actually have any industry since independence. And when you go into history, our forefathers really fought hard. I think if I go into percentage, 80% of actually the freedom fighters actually came from that region. But nothing exists that side. So and what has actually happened now is when you complete school, you go to Lusaka, you come to Lusaka, or you go to Copperbelt, and then our region is continually actually doing what? Remaining poor. So we thought of why should we always go to Lusaka, and yet we have got everything. The only thing that we are lacking here is a tool to use for us to liberate ourselves. Then we actually thought of agriculture, because agriculture is the only thing that we have. Here we were supplying fish in Lusaka. That fish is no longer there. We were supplying you guys with the Kubala, Uboa, Imbalala. All those things actually are quite gone. So now, what else? There's nothing that we have. And then out of desperation, we started cutting down trees. And again, we were supplying charcoal here, guys, when you use those charcoal to barbecue your meats and your T-bones. And then we just realized to say we are going to kill ourselves. So the only thing that we can actually do is to go to agriculture. Then agriculture, when we started farming, we found to say the yields are poor. The fertilizer that they send to us is decompound. It does not actually really accept, it doesn't actually give a good yield. As in Kaunda's time, it was X compound. Okay? So we thought to say, no, let's actually have a factory here in Northern Province that respects our soil. It can be organic, it can be synthetic, we don't care. All what we want is actually to have a fertilizer. And that will lower the price of fertilizer, and quickly, accessibility of fertilizer will be actually much easier. Again, we wanted now to say, we can't just be cultivating maize. There are other crops. So how are we going to know that this crop, or the crop that I want to plant, the seed, is accepted to this kind of a soil? We can't just continue planting blindly. Then we came up with an idea to say, let's actually advocate for these things. And also DDP, Kasama contribution, northern region, the contribution to the government's coffer in terms of actually DDP is quite poor and quite low. And we demand roads, we demand hospitals, we demand good things that you guys have, Lusaka, Copperbelt you have because of your commerce. But they can't give us. And we have been ignored year out, year in. Then we thought to say, okay, it is quite genuine for them, the government, to refuse to bring development or to bring good roads here because we pay nothing. So if we are to have agriculture and we become a hub, then they will meet our demand with respect, because the correction of taxes that they're going to correct from us will be much better as compared to what they get now. Hence the advocacy of fertilizer actually factory and soil testing laboratory.
All right, interesting. Now, let's talk about some of the key community development projects that are currently there in Kasama, where actually people are even benefiting.
Well, I haven't actually seen any apart from, boreholes, and then giving certain communities rearing of goats. But that does not actually contribute to the national scale. It is just actually individual, that community there, that community there. It does not actually really change the condition of our people. What we want is, I think from actually, when we got actually independence, we have actually realized to say government is not in the attendance or is not actually it doesn't actually have interest to develop the people. It is the people themselves that need to change their condition. They can actually, they can say all the projects that they want and advertise it actually all they want. We don't see it, we don't feel it. And you guys as journalists, you should actually also venture into investigative journalism. When a politician comes here and he talks about the development that they are doing in the village, get actually the time, get the location and the year that actually they started, so that you can go and investigate, so that you can give the people the truth. Because development, I haven't actually seen any, in my own actually view, I haven't seen any development that I can classify to say this is development and it is going to change the condition. None.
So now, with that said, maybe let's talk about some of the biggest challenges that the community of Kasama is facing.
Poverty. It's just actually poverty. Our marriages now, the scale at the rate at which marriages are ending is actually quite alarming. Why? Why is it that? Because the economy of the family is not sustaining. A man has to think twice before he actually starts raising a family. A woman actually has to think twice before he accepts a man. And then when they marry and the man can't provide, that marriage won't last. Okay. Let's actually go now to drug abuse. Beer drinking. Our youths in our region, in Kasama, especially where I'm coming from, they die like rockers because it's just all about beer drinking, drugs, and because there's nothing that they have. They don't have anything that they can lay their hands on. Nothing, no employment, no nothing. All what we have actually seen now is actually the coming of motorbikes. So that's actually now has actually taken a little bit chunk of actually youth who are now having to order here and there. But otherwise, the challenge in Northern Province is nothing apart from the poverty. Poverty has really taken us down. Yes, it's just poverty. If we can alleviate poverty, if you can actually eradicate poverty and give people the right to live, then everything will come to.
Do you think that politics plays such a big role in shaping community development?
I don't think. I know. It's a fact. Yes. Okay, you can actually imagine to say, why would the government each and every time giving us free fertilizer? Is it for what? What is it for? It's just actually to keep us dependent. Okay, so that each and every cycle, you are waiting for a fertilizer from the government to give it to you in the form of FISIP. They just changed the name. It is FISIP in UPND government. It was something in MMD, and it was something in Kaunda's time. It is also just giving free, and then they call it FISIP, whatever the name that they want to call it. That is a dependence syndrome. And what they have actually done is, Mama, when I am in Kasama and I'm expecting fertilizer actually from the government, the free fertilizer, I'll request for 6. And they won't give me 6 because I'm not the only one. They'll give me 2 or nothing. So that becomes actually a cycle. If they give you 2, for instance, you're not going to cultivate 4 lima because 2 is for 2 fertilizer at the top and the bottom and the beso is only for 2 lima. So if they give me 2, which means I won't cultivate beyond that. My capacity has been limited by the government themselves. And we have actually been telling the government to say, giving free things is actually okay, but why can't you subsidize? You subsidize so that people can actually pay something, 200. So it becomes actually theirs, they own it. And if they want to make whatever hectares, let them actually do that. But the way we have actually done, we have limited actually their capacity to go beyond that because they know it's actually for free. It's for free, and only 2 lima, 1 lima. People can't develop. Yes, and I don't know how people have just really stopped. Like our generation, we have stopped thinking critically, or what we are doing is to feel. It's just a feeling. We just feel. If we think critically to say, surely, what has changed ever since we have been getting actually fertilizer? We think it's nothing. But why can't we change? We don't want to change. It's just, because I'm feeling good, the government gave it to me. It's just a feeling. But if you can actually transition actually from there, I think we can develop.
Now, speaking of politics, Mr. Chewe, many Zambians feel the country is at a critical political moment, especially looking at what's happening, the wrangles in the opposition. Yes. I think we've had, a few opposition leaders right here on the Sunrise Breakfast Show, and looking at the state of, what is happening Yeah. From your perspective, how would you describe the state of politics today in this country?
Mama Mlenga, let me actually be candid, because me, I don't like meandering. I don't want to praise. I will just actually tell you the honest truth. Okay. When we go to Kaunda's time, they had something that they wanted to get from somewhere to give it to the Zambian people, and that was independence. So that was their target. They wanted to get independence because the whites had the colonizers. So they wanted that back so badly so that they can actually give it to us. That is Kaunda and UNIP. When MMD came, they had something that they wanted to give it to us. Okay. They wanted actually to get the power from one man to the people. Okay, that's a target. We can actually follow that, right? Yeah. When PF got the power from MMD or from MMDS, what was their target? To get it from MMD and to give it to the people. You would find that it is nothing. That is where we actually can actually start. There's nothing that PF wanted to liberate actually the people. Okay, let's just talk about actually UPND. UPND, what did they have in their target to say, let's get this from the people and give it to the Zambians? You find that there's nothing again. So that's where the problem actually, that's when it becomes interesting. You know, PF, when you got actually power from MMD, it was actually because SATA felt to say, you know, it was my time. And why? How can you leave me behind like this? And he formed it actually the political party. And he won. And he gave us everything that he has actually given us. Okay. The UPND had nothing really to say. The Zambian people have actually suffered. This is our target and we want to get it and give it to them. There's nothing. They felt marginalized. UNIP, the Bantu Botadwe, this is actually there. The Bantu Botadwe people, okay, they felt marginalized. By who? By UNIP and Kaunda. And they formed a group called, you know, a cultural dancing group. Okay. And from there they developed to say, no, we have been marginalized. When Mazoka was being, you know, sought to become a leader, he was an MMD, you know, member, and he wanted even to contest in Lusaka constituency, in Lusaka Central constituency, here in Lusaka. Yes. So it was a group that felt marginalized. So now, let's actually go now to, you know, political whatever that the parties, they are failing to unite. You guys, you need to understand one basic principle or fact. These political parties are all more like cooperatives. I'm coming from the village. We form cooperatives to get fertilizer from the government, like the way I've actually stated here. These political parties are cooperatives. Only members need to benefit because they don't actually have anything that they can grab from anywhere to give to the Zambians. It is a cooperative. Only members have to do what? Have to benefit. So now, there's something that actually we call ego. Okay, I formed a cooperative and I've recruited you to be a member and you want me to join another member, I'll lose something. That is actually what? You lose power. Okay, power is everything actually nowadays. So they can't join another political party because that's political suicide. They feel to say the moment make a small cooperative, join the bigger one, they will swallow us. And that will be the end. And also these political parties are ecosystem, economic system. There's money there. And again, when you go much deeper, you find to say these small parties are also funded. They're under pressure. They are funded by the state. To say, you guys, we can't do this, you can't join. And they are under, probably their houses, their schools are being paid by the government. So when you are telling these people to unite, you political party to unite, you are just actually wasting your own time. Even without unity, just one political party, if it emerges, it gives us moral clarity, discipline, you know, at the grassroots level, and also a political culture which is different from what we have here. Even though there's no unity, that political party can actually win. But there's none. And you all were just actually taking it, unite. You can't unite when people have got ego, have got interest in money. They can't unite. Because Zambians have actually said a lot. And these actually opposition political party, if they know really to say they want to save us, they could feel for us. The stress that they put ourselves into, and the mental thing that each and every time you have to divide. You are with this person, and this person breaks away, and then now, how can I remain here? And then you fall, and then he breaks away. You know, that's too much on Zambians. That's too much. And that's why sometimes actually I feel to say, they don't know what actually they are doing, these actually leaders. Even though we say it, I can preach to them, they won't understand. They won't do it.
Do you think what is happening currently
affects ordinary citizens, maybe also at community level?
Big time, because they are wasting actually the time. Instead of our energy to be focused in something, we are now just actually thinking to say, who is actually coming? Who is coming to lead us? Who is coming to, to govern us? Leaders, they need actually really to understand one thing. If they are really Zambians and they love the Zambian actually people, they need to understand to say they are here to serve the people. And tomorrow is never promised to anybody. Today, if you give me an opportunity to serve, I need to serve like today is my last. Today, they can actually just today, if they know that tomorrow they are not going to be there, they can just say today we have actually agreed to say we have come together. Today, because the only day that they are seeing is today. Tomorrow they don't know if they are going to be there. I'm telling you the honest truth. This is biblical. No one knows. Tomorrow is an illusion. Yesterday is also an illusion. Just today, present, because I'm able to see you. This is when I can make a decision, because today that will affect tomorrow. If I, by chance, by God's grace, I'll be there. I make a decision today to say, okay, guys, today we are emerging and we have actually formed one unity. Let's save our Zambian people. Simple and straightforward. But they feel tomorrow they are going to be there, and then the cycle continues.
Yeah. Now, with that said, how important is transparency and accountability in maintaining public trust in politics?
Well, that's actually everything, because like I've actually said, there's political parties is an economic ecosystem where money dwells. Okay. So now our leaders, they are failing to live that. That's why even the development is actually quite difficult to come in the Republic. Take, for instance, if a leader that I would want actually to choose has to come with a big idea and actually show us how he is going to implement it, like the one that I'm actually talking about. The one that we're talking about is a fertilizer factory and a soil laboratory, right? That's a big idea. Now, that big idea requires accountability. Do you really just think to say the politicians don't want to embark on a big capital project? No, because it does not actually give them immediate reward, and it needs discipline and accountability. So they fear, where accountability is, they fear to embark on that. So accountability is everything. If this republic, we have actually leaders who are accountable to the voters, this country can actually move within shortest period of time. When we have leaders who are accessible to accountability, but everyone is afraid to be accountable and they are doing something actually wrong. Just to talk about accountability, Mama Mlenga, here is a scenario. I like giving facts. When UNIP was actually removed from government, its leadership died here in this republic. Why is that? Because they never actually got anything. When we moved MMD, some actually MMD leaders, they went out because they were afraid to be prosecuted. PF, when they came actually into government, some left the country because they are afraid actually to be executed. I can give the probability to say UPND, when they move, actually they are removed from government, they are going to do what? Some leaders, they will leave the country. This is the culture that we have created for ourselves. This is a mess that we are in. So instead of actually people focusing on a project, they are focusing on two things, parallel things. Okay, I'm working as a minister, but I may also touch something, or I may do something wrong. I need also to create another condition somewhere where I can run just in case. So now, if you have got divided focuses, can you develop? Can you be accountable? You can't. So accountability is everything, and there's none in our republic. I don't know if you see any. Me, I haven't seen any.
All right. Now, let's talk about the cost of living. With the rising cost of living, what role should politics play in easing the burden on its citizens?
Well, you're always actually going to the politician. Politicians are just leaders like ourselves. Politicians won't actually develop us. And don't even actually think that any politician, today I can turn to be a politician and you think that I can change your condition. That's a lie. It is the Zambians themselves who will need to demand. Okay. Now, I'll give you a very practical example, which is actually very simple for anyone actually to understand. Let's talk about figures. Okay. Which example can I give which is so straightforward? Let's go to United Capital. Me, I'm actually interested in agriculture. Okay, because I want to change the condition. I can actually say there's a state and there's a condition. A state is a situation which doesn't actually really last long, and it is internally. A condition is permanent, and it has actually, it takes a long period of time. That's why you say, what is the state of mind? What is the condition of the patient? There are two things there. So our condition in a republic, we know our condition to say it is a poverty-stricken actually country. We are underdeveloped. That's our condition. Okay. So the government, UPND government, I thank them actually for what they have actually done to when it comes to development, CDF, Constituency Development Fund. They are increasing to 40 million. Okay. They are increasing to 40 million. Or what you actually want to say, what can the politician do? The politician has actually given us the CDF. Okay, this is actually for the people. Now, if I calculate, I want a fertilizer actually planting plant and soil testing, which can actually cost about 1.6 billion United States dollars. But if I had to get, if these are the politicians, if the politician had to do what? Had to get this 40 million, and you divide, you multiply it by 5 years to say, okay, this constituent asset development fund, we're going to fund, we are not going to give it individually like the way we give, for development or whatever. We are going to hold it, or we're going to put it in a fertilizer actually manufacturing, company for a period of 5 years. And then when you multiply, it's going to give us 2 billion. Is it 2 billion? Yes, 2 billion. 40 million, you multiply by 5, it's going to give you 2 billion. And 2 billion, my sister, you can actually build a permanent structure that can alleviate problems that we're talking about. The problem actually in rural areas, for instance, like in our Kasama area. That fertilizer can drastically change everything. I can itemize the thing that the chain of jobs that can be created actually from there. Dealership, drivers, security, lab tech, I don't know how many. The farmers themselves. So if the politician wants to work, they need to be honest for themselves to say, look, actually, guys, capital project, if capital project can actually invest 12 billion quarter, and then when you calculate, like in our region, we have got, how many? We have got 15, Muchinga is 13, Northern Province is 10, these actually are the constituencies, and then when you go to Luapula, that's actually 15 constituencies. And each constituency is actually receiving probably 40 million, they'll be receiving it. And then when you multiply all constituencies in 5 years, you're going to see it's a lot of money. So if we, the Northern Circuit, for instance, with in conjunction with our chiefs, all what we want is to change what you talked about, poverty. We talked to our chiefs to say, give us land. We are going to use this Constituent Development Fund within our region and put it somewhere in between our two provinces, because we are agricultural dependent. That can work. And this is actually where the politician can actually do. Can just actually say, guys, we have given you money. What is it that you want? And then the president can actually can bring the experts and stuff like that. But otherwise, when we say the politician has to change our state or our condition, it can't work. It is us, the risk takers. Like the way I'm actually speaking here. Us as an individual, as citizens, to say this is what we want and we demand, and not to wait for the politician to come and actually change our condition. It won't work. It won't work. Yeah. So it's actually up to us, the citizen, to say this is what we and we demand. Yeah. Yes. It's just such a demand, but we don't want to demand because we are all more. I don't know what has actually happened to the Zambians. If this generation of ours was there during Kaunda's time, independence wouldn't have actually gotten it because we are too scared. Yeah.
So now, being an advocate for fertilizer and soil testing laboratory in the Northern Circuit, people would want to know, why is this lab so critical for farmers in the region?
That one is a game changer. It's a game changer. And we are looking for a savior. I'll disclose here to say, we started actually this, I think, a year plus now. We have been advocating and are in talks with government. We didn't just actually start talking because, we are talking. We started engaging government to say, this is a blueprint to change certain things. Even the president, the letters I'm speaking is at State House, the last letter, because we have been writing to them. We wrote the first letter to the state, to State House, to the president. The president abdicated his power. He gave it to the Permanent Secretary of Agriculture. And the Agriculture Minister, Permanent Secretary wrote it to us. So we were not satisfied with the reply or the response that they gave, but we appreciated the gesture. they sent us back to the Misamfu Research Center to say, you guys, this fertilizer and so this laboratory is only Misamfu can do it. But when we went to Misamfu, Misamfu said, it is too big for us. And then we went back. We wrote to the permanent secretary to say, you don't know what you have actually done here. These are actually people, they are among us, and we live with them, and we know the problems. Okay. And they haven't replied. And then we went to the government, and we have actually given them to say, okay, up to March, for them to respond, to tell us to say, okay, let's actually work together. How best can we do it? Okay. If they haven't, if they refuse, then we are going to find plan B or whatever plan, whoever. We can talk to other opposition leaders who are presidents in waiting to say, you guys, look at this blueprint. Who is going to be our savior? We just want a savior. Okay, to say, okay, guys, I'm going to fund the money. I'm going to find an investor. I'm going to do this. You give us the what? You give us the land. The chiefs, but Chief Mwamba, our senior Chief Mwamba, has agreed to give us the land. Our paramount chief has given, we have got vast land in Kasama. But Chief Mumkonge, it is vast. The beauty about Kasama, we have got the rivers for irrigation. Plenty, not at that time. I'm saying plenty with my emotions. And we have got, we have Chishimba for electricity. We can't actually import from Kariba. We have got electricity. So everything is there, and you have got the population, and we have got peace. We are inclusive. That's the only region where you go, and you find all the tribes in Kasama. Others, you can't actually go there. And you own land. There's no problem. It's one Zambia, one nation, even though one Zambia, one nation, it's not about whatever. It's not about tribe. But it's one Zambia, one nation. So that's actually the beauty. Okay. What was actually the question? Maybe I just want to conclude on that.
All right, so I did ask why
this lab is critical for farmers. In
so
the region.
That lab, why it is actually very critical, Mama, is to end the poverty and blind farming. Today we are hearing what are they actually talking about? AI? Mm-hmm. Why should today a farmer start actually farming not knowing the type of a soil that it actually is planting as a seed on? That is ridiculous. Again, because the youth that we have in the Republic, they are shining away. They don't want agriculture. It is quite tough. It is ridiculous. It is, why should I go farming? So now, how do we interest them? We interest them by putting a technological aspect in it. Okay, the drone, the tractor, and then you revamp it. For us, it's a game changer. We want Northern Province to become a hub. You have got copper belt. Why is it called copper belt? Because copper comes always from there. We also want Kasama to be called, not Kasama, Northern Circuit. That is Mchinga, part of Eastern Province, Luapula, and Northern Province, to be called maize belt. Because you guys will cry over actually meal. High price, and you protest. But if we are protesting that side, you don't even help us. So we want that region also to be a hub. And now, why do we want this? We want a university. We don't want to come actually here to University Copperbelt University or Unza. We don't want to come here. We want to actually a university. But how do we actually come to how do we build our university? How do we build our university in Kasama if our contribution when they come to collect taxes is zero? It's impossible. We want a good hospital. We want, a stadium so that my boy there can go to Chelsea and develop into a professional football. Okay. The other thing that we want good roads. We want good markets. We want good stations. But that cannot come because the thing that we contribute when they come to get whatever the tax that they do, it's zero. My parents, when they got independence, have been crying. Umusebo. My uncle, my auntie, even me now here, I'm actually growing white hair here. I'm also crying for the same thing. And we are always crying for good things, good road, good hospitals. For how long are we going just to be crying? Even my children should just come and cry for the same. No, we want to stop that. We want to stop that. We want to become independent, economically independent for our own selves. Then the partner with the government to join, to work hand in hand. Yeah. And then once we change that, so when we demand, because we are going to know how much they have collected actually from our region, because how much have we contributed? 10 billion. 10 billion, we can actually get something actually from there and go to a clinic. Okay, how much did we contribute last year? Or last year we contributed about 17 billion. We know that we can actually now have another stadium or whatever, academy, whatever, somewhere. Because we know what we are contributing. For now, we depend on Copper Belt. Yeah. Copper Belt, even the Copper Belt people, Chingola, Yeah, let's go to Solwezi. Let's go to Mfrila, Rwansha. These guys, they give copper belt to the government. Eh? But even them, they are crying for good roads. And even us in Kasama, we are crying for the good roads. The same money that they contributed. Then we want them not to have something for themselves. We want them, us there in Kasama, to have a good hospital using their money. That's very unfair. That's why I don't like blaming, because blaming makes us timid and backwards. Because even though I blame the government today, I'm actually just actually blaming myself, because I'm part of this. Because even if it's not me who has contributed to this condition that the country is, then my parents contributed. And I don't want to blame actually the government. I want us to change. The government, I'll blame the government for not taking steps to actually join hand in hand with us. If they want ideas, we have given them the blueprint. We have given them ideas. If they don't want to join, it is their problem, not us. Yes, and someone will come. Yes.
So now, where do you see Kasama and the northern agriculture sector in the next 5 to 10 years if these initiatives succeed?
Mama, do you think you're not going to have a TV station that side? I have to come, I have to travel and spend 550 kwacha to travel to come to Lusaka. Come on, you guys are going to see a television that side. You're going to follow us because things will be cheaper. Okay? Our women will be actually as beautiful as you are because they will be eating good. They won't actually be like captivating each and every time. You know, they will be food. There will be food and respect. Our chiefs will be respected. Our traditional leaders will be respected because it's because me, I'm scared if I lose this job, I'll suffer as a result of what I mentality. But in the fact I'm economically independent, you can actually do whatever that you want. So that I can see it. And you have actually seen that you have actually asked a very beautiful question. I'm seeing Kasama where we are going to start bargaining with you guys, the Lusaka people. If we cultivate our maize, we are not going to get our maize and come and grind it actually here into milimi and then you send the bag actually back there. We're not going to do that. We're not going to accept it. It is ours. It is us who farmed it. If you want, you guys are selling plots. Sell it. Build houses. Build mansions. But we're not going to do the same actually here in Kasama or there in Kasama. We are going to be farmers. So when we farm our grains, our beans, then we're going to bargain. Okay. Meaning, if you want our maize to be turned into milling, bring a national milling company here to grind here. To buy products yashale muno. Okay, then you will supply. The only thing that will be supplying to you guys is actually milling, because that's what you want. Beans we supply to you guys, but not the way you treat us. We cultivate. You get it actually to Lusaka where you actually are employed, you convert it into milling, and then you say, take it back, and it becomes at a very expensive actual price. We can actually imagine, we sell the bag of 50 kg at 340 kwacha. If that bag of maize is converted or processed, it is 2,000. You could imagine, 2,000, because muli sample, muli milling powder, muli bigaga, and muli milling, the one that we eat. So that's very unfair to the farmers. Now, why is farming actually so looked down upon? Because perception, it is for the poor, the villagers, it is for the old, it is for the uneducated. So we said, kulaba nyantida fya masukupa mutu. But one day, bakashibukana vena. And this is actually when, it's just time. In every generation, kulaba kwa bati, tuwakana, tuachula, tuwapafula. And now we are saying, we are tired. We want actually also to be respected. How do we actually respect? Give us something, and then we're going to farm. And then when we farm, we will decide what to do. Not for you to control us. Yes.
Now, finally, how can the community support your work and the Chikamoneka Development Agri-Cooperative Union, and what would be your message to the people of Kasama?
Well, the people of actually Kasama, what actually we did was, we didn't just actually form an organization just for the sake of forming. What we did was we went, first of all, to the government. We talked to the government allowed us to meet. So we started meeting. First of all, before the government, we went to our traditional leaders. That is our chiefs. We actually said, "Mwewa fyash, tuala chitashani, mone ni nsala ya chitalawe, mone ni ogotulea, takuwene." Imfumu Shatupala, go ahead. Nama letters, I've got plenty of actual letters from the chief endorsing the same thing. And then we went now to the government. The government said, okay, you can organize and educate the people, which we appreciate big time. That we don't actually take it for granted. They gave us the police permit. They were professional and they actually were, and we thank the government for that. And we started now organizing actually ourselves, meeting the people, and the people, they were signing the petition to say, let's actually sign the petition to show the president to say, we are in for this. And we gathered about 50,000. And then because of the rains and stuff like that, we stopped. So we are continually collecting the data, collecting the signatures. Now from the constituents, from the district, we want also to go now provincial. Okay. Now the people, what we have actually done, that union, we were instructed, not really instructed, we were advised by the late Mayor, Mama Teresa Kolala, may also rest in peace, to say, you guys, this is a brilliant idea. Form a cooperative. Okay, we accepted it. And then when we received a letter from the permanent secretary, Green Economy, he also actually said, you guys form something like a cooperative. But we did not form a cooperative like the way they suggested. We formed a union. A union is more like a mother for the unions. So the mother of the cooperatives. So the cooperatives they are already existing actually members, and those they will infuse themselves into us so that we can have one voice. One voice is what we are looking for. You're not looking for anything. One voice. So all the cooperatives in the northern circuit, Muluapula cooperatives, Muchichinga cooperative, Kasama district cooperatives, they need to form, they need to join us. That's actually the only help that we want. All what we want is leaders of each cooperative to join us, so that when we speak with one. Not if two of us segmented. The Luwingu guys comes to the permanent secretary at Folele. They do. No. We just actually want, when we speak with one. And moreover, there are two types of actually farmers. There is Wazungus who are comfortable, their crops, they can't plant without measured strength, fertilizer, and the ordinary farmers who are neglected and actually. So what I can actually say kubantu beswaba kasama. Imona mkwate shuko. Mweba kasama na tupanga chimofwe bana beno. Yumfumu oshetulebomba na shena shali tupala kale. Impanga bali tupela. Tulela ndokwebo kwebati isentu katane pamo. Ba politician abo mlembo na tabakatale abatuchinja condition yesu. Batuchinja fe condition lila twachita twabebo fo tulefwaya. Ngamuleyibukisha kwali umulumendo mukumansa uyo waishire wapangire pwe kupanga malaiti. Ewa yambire pepa lwako. A government bamona interest olo baponenemo. Na ifo bene tie ntwambe chesu. Government kesa aponena mofetaka kwate option but kesa aponena mofe. For now ofo ningamilo mbako fe. Amlenga wesu.
Thank you so much for coming through to our Sunrise Breakfast show this morning, and definitely I do hope that everything goes according, and I know that the people of Kasama did watch and they heard whatever that we did talk about.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
All right, so we do continue with our Sunrise Breakfast show. Do stick around for more. We'll be back after the break.
What do we stand for? We stand for possibility, for the belief that every tomorrow begins with a choice made today. We stand for growth, for curiosity that pushes boundaries, for knowledge that prepares you not just to adapt, but to lead. We stand for community, for minds that don't just think, but connect, for hands that don't just build, but uplift. We stand for experiences that shape you, for friendships that anchor you, for courage that carries you beyond this place. Here you become more than a student. You become a maker of solutions, a believer in dreams, a contributor to something greater than yourself. This is where purpose meets possibility. This is where futures are built. Chas Brook-Bassar University, where you stand for what matters.
Early in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Mama in the kitchen, we never eat alone. Primarily me, the taste of home.
Prime Mill Meal, pure, proudly Zambian, the taste of home.
Thank you so much. Welcome back. It's watching the Sunrise Breakfast Show, coming to live on Topstar Channel 110 and streaming live on our Facebook page. That is PTV to Zambia. We're also streaming on our YouTube page. We're also streaming on our website. You can join in the conversation. Please come on and let us what you're thinking. Tell us. This conversation would not be complete without your input. And of course, today I have someone special on set. I hope those that are preparing for the weekend have carried their water, because something interesting might happen to that water. I have Yesu in the studio with me. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm fine. I don't know how best to address you with honor, respect.
How if you feel safe from Rwanda, for today on from Kwai.
Yeah. So the first question that everyone would want to know and wants to find out, what is the secret to your fashion style and tip? What really motivated you to actually play the role that you are actually playing right now?
Okay, what inspired me the most? If intentionally pitamo, things sana, para ifiandi. So naishire kufika pa accent yako why this Rionse ngapya chitkefi alesa bwangu para ifyanje kwa time ichalengero kuti naishire mu lesana la mbombera shani. So I came on point that kwa time imwe nadilele mu nganda nindala then akachero kwa ishire naishire rota kwa kuma 02 naishire rota umuntu nanjikata pamukoshi ale nangama. So I was like fish file chitikapa naisho kubuka file twalere babiri pa bed before shira upapo twalere babiri nabafyashi fish file chitika then was ndeshe okukumya ebo twalere nawe na tisi bankumye mofye so that ngabankumya mofye nishinala chishani nalabuka but yashire sango kuti naishire firwa I failed. So, pension arranged up. If you know, I should tamp up paper fear. You could think from your voice. Now come up on. So, what I started, could tamp up paper pen, and cut come team. This award in Gafurishan, Parwan Dinekating Quanish. Jafuen in Funyani Mumbuafio, Naswangwam. And on Basadendi, I should indicate. Nisa Vundu, Kusa Monaco Mona. wachinji katopa mkoshiresa aisananga efe naishire ikala pasho nesawandi ushe aba bantu abo tusekana bena chirabushiku ushe ebengesa mukuchitepya musango efe mine naishire kwatafika ati nipira bambi barando kuti maybe bambi babomfya ichinso cha mpio waishiba baisa mukuchita atake lero naishire fukama naishire fono kupeparesa wandi ngachachine uyu muntu omwananga ewa chisao kunkama pakushokti anjipai mwelesa wandi the first thing in the morning nde rumbo kuti mukacheshani mukanange before nshira munana no muntu uri onse ndefa mukanange ngamwaisana ngangeshiba tikanshi ewa chisa. So the first thing linchi naishire bukaka chero nde sikusamukana nde fuma fi pachibiso pa naimi ndampo kusamukana naishire munana mayure pa straight yali pa ya amanda ali pia ali roshanya feminshi nokuisa muna pa straight ero naisa ibukusha ubushikwa chisankamo ushe pyachine niyo inwa chisa kai unamwalishi bafyo umuntu tetu ushiningishe nati muresa wandi fimwana fishina la chitapa then mind yashire safiata mukonko chikwati wayafi bruto refo kuya mwikatamo kumumamo efe naishire bika fina kapu yani na toothbrush na fibika punch efe naishire bakonka bari abamayo kuba konka speed kwati ndiafe kuri bena emotion yandi yari kuti ngataba butuke palya nishitebo ngabala afumapo palya nishi ebena efe naishire bakonka direct bamuna fefe na reisa we na reishiramu baishire tashani bare ko shomuriro baishire ushimba bura papeni no kubutukira mu nganda then oza nesa wandi na totera naishire bwekera mu nganda na yafuka mana pepa naishe ifyo yonse nomba fyashire tampo kurachika ngabambona fyabo bamayo bale butuka ngabambona bale butuka naishe sa nesa wandi na totera pakundwire again incident imbi ashire chitika yakuti na aponomba naishire kukarambo kuikala neka ninjikala ubushiko kuma 23 spirit yaishire isafi yakusa ukufaya ukula ukuipaya naishire faya ukuipaya ukuikulika spirit yanjingira fyo strong force iwe sende ntambo ya green yo kakapaka plus uchichani uikakirire naishe ine mwana ila kinkole njikakirire fish na harufu ya nyapeni ntambo kula ikakirira then was ape filter fishan the goodness of me is that wherever if you have different ngafya for kunchitikira ndabika lesa pantanji.
So from your experience na vemna pitamu na vemachitika, what is your advice to the young people out there who are trying to make it in life, those that are looking for jobs, those maybe that are in relationships, sivichitika bwino bajabe bali mavikwati na manje bana sibankala nabo and bashita decide maybe kushita abuse maybe moba kushita abuse vintu vinangu no yeso maybe no yeso kugwira mukamba ko vichano kuli bantu aba
kuri abantu abarefaya kira muntu pa life kwari bagoyo akwata but sometimes ile sasa ngafie fintu fyo refaya shapanshita yobewe mwini tenshita yakwaresa kira muntu ari kwa tenshita yoresa chashani apariramo ngorefa yenchito just be patient lesara perenchito ngawafuka mano kupepa notukula pepa firero wa pepa wafuma panse wayamukuchita fimbi wambukula bala abantu kula tukashani lero ngolero mba chintu kuriresa ufuire waiperesha nomutima wonse mwelesa wandi ndefu ayechi because resatire ngamwa konka amafunde yandi fyonse fyo namyebo kuti mulebaka then mukachishani mukalombe chiti chonse ngachashani ngamipera nomba pali ino nshita abantu balomba fi pakashita pya ala lomba 2 days 3 days uyo ichitetekelo chakutachashani chapwa narampera example ya kwa Abraham na Sara bali abantu bali churire pa kwato omwana lero tabalekere paliresa batu alirire fene chitekelo chabo kutiresa niresa pakupange miuru necharo tapale chenga firo kuchita pa life yo yes lero bena bali twalirire nechitekelo chabo andikushipikisha kwabo konse bashire sango shani bashire kwato omwana tabali kerepo kuri resa just because resa na tarempare finde nde muromba tarempera ikeni mpume munshira nchitishani lesa if you have lesa takwata loss, then God does not force everyone ukumchita worship. Ni choice yobe we mungu. So ichiri chonse we muntu ngolero mbakuliresa ufuri wakwata patience. Fyonse if you refu alesa alapera tapa vecho lesa afirwapo okupera mumone Jobu life yapitiremo ichitekero akwete ndacho chile chitekero nga abantu twakwatenga ichitekero tikyakwete Jobu ngepintu bonse fyali wa mapa life yesu because sometimes abantu ligale inelete limbire sarefo okukupala edo nomba wa chashani wabwerera panuma ati awo nakokwesha sana limbikwa sheriff maybe 2 days 3 days kutiresa chashani yesu lepi pa life yo lero wa chashani wabwekera panuma epe balanda tilesa wa mufibi na mpisuma eresa kuri resa ngo mfuro wa shipikisha resa ale test arefo amoni ushenga takupere echuma wala ikalira muri eno kumupepa ngakupere echuma wala chitashani efyo resaba afwayo ukumona abantu bako nibesa so ryonse nga turefwa echintu kulesa tatufuire kwe wapepa 2 days 3 days waleka pray with that Susan ukubula pepo kwa bulo kuleka kutwalira fye ngole pepa na abantu bamo balaseka ngefine ndini abantu abengi inosha bambi balenchitako ndemo bambi bale
so mapemperera abantu
no
okay
sima pemperera abantu
but kaili hapa ni weekend then the first miracle that Jesus performed was the turning water to the good drink and so hapa yavutako kaili masalaries ya sira hapa kaili so weekend mzatsunga bwanji wajize
weekend yapandishire ndebipera ichebo chakwalesa tena ichebo chakwalesa ifyonse we muntu ngakwate ichebo chakwalesa mukatika mutima wawe nisho wakwata fyonse you never lack anything in life when you have the word of God in you.
Okay, so what message do you have mungabawuzeko vichani as we are going to the weekend? Of course, manja tili weekend mode, and everyone now is excited to go out, excited to go and drink. Isebena ngutienda kwatu kumafamu huku. So mutu pasako message bonds of encouragement as we go on through our weekend.
Weekend abengi nalishipama weekend valite mutu wakunwanwa filia. Then life if you have once you lose life you never find it elsewhere.
Takwaba spare tire.
Takwaba ngawa lose na life. That's why barandate umwe waba mukutwe. Epira balanda kuti ngwa muntu urefa ya weekend urefa yokunwa na limibambi bakwatama motoka filia urekorwa but urefa ukwensha motoka nishure bika life yobe in risk. So every time you need to reach stage you should know life yobe. Life is precious but tapave chintu chawama ukwata life. So muni fiance urefa ukuchita enjoy life in Christ. Hallelujah.
Amen. Amen. So which church? Mind of church branch?
Me am an Adventist.
The mago is there. So nkumba so mkudia. So nikaita nkumba pa mzata.
Ateti ndiye nokukunyako efile lati I will adam na eva mwibali ya edeni. If sabo fiance fya mwibala kuti mwalia lero chisawe chili pakati chebala mwilali yako na ngukunyako.
Okay. Thank you very much. So viewers, that's it today. I was with a special guest, yes, who of course, who's spiced up our breakfast show. Of course, we've talked about quite a number of things outside the excitement, outside the entertainment. We've talked about being responsible. We've talked about being prayerful, and we've talked about being persistent in that which you want. And let us be also be responsible as we go to drink today. And Friday is the beginning of the weekend, of course. So let's be responsible. Let's not drink and drive. And from us and Prime, and from the Prime TV crew, would also want to also advise we should not drink and drive. So yes, we thank you so much for coming on the show.
Awe na ina tutupa kunsengera nga uno mwini kwa ndero mba again nga kutui chawa ichaya na mwanjita na kabiri. Awe nga fwayo kula konka na mashu ya kwa lesa, you can search me pa TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Ishinambo mpyani wa Messiah, BAMESAYA wa Messiah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. That was it with the Messiah. Let's take a break. After the break, we will have more in, of course, entering into sports with JC.
Early in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Mama in the kitchen, we never eat alone. Primarily meal, the taste of home.
Prime Mill Meal, pure, proudly Zambian, the taste of home.
Early in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Mama in the kitchen, we never eat alone. Primarily me, the taste of home.
Prime Mill Meal, pure, proudly Zambian, the taste of home.
What do we stand for? We stand for possibility, for the belief that every tomorrow begins with a choice made today. We stand for growth, for curiosity that pushes boundaries, for knowledge that prepares you not just to adapt, but to lead. We stand for community, for minds that don't just think, but connect, for hands that don't just build, but uplift. We stand for experiences that shape you, for friendships that anchor you, for courage that carries you beyond this place. Here you become more than a student. You become a maker of solutions, a believer in dreams, a contributor to something greater than yourself. This is where purpose meets possibility. This is where futures are built. Charles Brook Bassar University, where you stand for what matters.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned. Now, it's very impossible to end a breakfast show without talking about sports, especially if we are getting into the weekend. A lot of people don't have things to do. It's not like, every weekend you have to go for a certain activity that you go for, but for a change, you can actually find a sport that suits your taste and get to find out if there are any games that are happening over the weekend. And this is actually very important, especially on a beautiful Friday like this one that opens up the entire weekend. Now, one of the stories that I did see on social media says the Zambia under-20 girls national team held their first official training session at Fufa Stadium in Kampala as preparations intensified ahead of their FIFA under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier against Uganda. So the junior Copper Queens adapted well to the warm weather conditions, displaying high confidence, of course, and focus throughout the session. Zambia will face Uganda in Kampala before returning
returning home for the second league in Ndola with the Poland 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup firmly in sight. So now we will get to hear more of that and so much more in our sports this morning. But we do have Mr. Jesse. Good morning.
Good morning. How are
Happy
you?
Friday.
Happy Friday to you. No throat gymnastics in the of the weekend. It's not every time that you should be having that, right?
Yes. It feels good to be here on a Friday like this. And the energy is always different.
Yeah.
You know that at least you sleep and won't wake up in the morning tomorrow.
But I feel good on Monday.
On Monday?
Monday, yeah.
The Monday blues?
No, it's just about planning. However you plan is how your Monday is going to be.
Yeah.
You know, everything is about plan. For me, even when people are saying January, just plan. December,
you don't see the
too
44
much.
days
No,
in January.
I don't. I just see the same month, the same days.
All right, I think I need to learn some
It's about
planning skills from you.
Planning skills.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
You don't go and drink things that you don't drink in December. You know, just because it's December, December. You even go to lodges that you've never been to.
All right, kindly give us an update of what's happening in sports.
Well, you do remember that we've been talking about futsal for the longest period. Now we are talking about them. Of course, the last game that they will be playing against Ghana. They played in Ghana. It was 6-0, 6-6. That's how it ended. So Zambia were coming from behind so many times until they really got the last goal that they scored for them to make it 6-0. Meaning any draw for Zambia, they will get through to the Africa Cup of Nations that will be held in Morocco. And I remember that you know, even Ghana do have a chance if they win, or if they get a 7-7 draw. That is going to be Ghana qualifying to the next round because of goal aggregate or away goals rule that is going to come through. But if Zambia gets a draw 0-0, or they win 1-0, or any draw, except they don't have to allow a lot of goals. If the game is going to be 6-6 again, it will go to penalties or extra time and penalties. So all they have to aim for, Zambia, is to win and basically just end this particular game and qualify to the Africa Cup of Nations. The last time around they qualified, they lost in Mozambique, and they came here and they won 2-0 and qualified to the Africa Cup of Nations. And mind you, Ghana and Zambia met at the Africa Cup of Nations, and Ghana were beaten 5-2. So we're looking forward to see how this is going to be. Probably maybe because of the atmosphere and the terrain and everything that happened, Zambia didn't play the usual game that they play. Or maybe Ghana played very well. So we'll see what really is going to happen in the fixture. Of course, they will be playing on Sunday. That is at Automotive Arena. And one good thing is that it's going to be free, no paying. Just going, walking free. And one thing about futsal is that there is no dull moment. Every single second is a heated second. So it's going to be amazing to see a lot of you know, creativity, stability, agility for all these players to show what they're capable of doing, for them to get a ticket to Morocco. Going forward, we've got the pool team that is playing in Durban, South Africa, and they're doing very well. They lost both teams, the males and girls. They lost their first 2 games, but of course they've started doing very well. And of course, Zambia will be playing Eswatini at 10:45 hours. Of course, we'll be looking forward to see this because I have to get into the knockout stages. Unfortunately, for the singles, Zambia hasn't really done very well, all except this man, Vandross. He's called Kopala1, and he's gotten into the semi-finals. Every other single players have really been kicked out, except him, who qualified into the semi-finals. And hopefully, he might just get into the finals and win what we call Africa 1. If he wins this tournament, the singles tournament is going to be called Africa 1. But at the moment is Kopala 1 because he's beaten everybody from the Copper Belt and he's Copper Belt number 1. But obviously he can become Africa 1 before he gets to be Zambia 1, because we've got Victor Sininza, who is Zambia 1, but unfortunately he couldn't get into these semi-finals. But obviously Vandross is representing, and we hope that he's going to do better as well. So for the team, the teams are doing very well. They're playing very good pool, and we only hope that they will win this particular tournament and get gold in the women and as well as in the men's category. Unfortunately for Herbo, we didn't do well because we're doing it for the first time and we don't have the tables for Hebo. Hebo's got a big table, and the balls are different. They're heavy. The stick is different. So basically, we are coming from black ball to Hebo. It's really a different ball game altogether. But they did well. Probably those that played for the first time. I think they did very well, considering the fact that they were just, it's like you were training for the first time and you were playing a competition for the first time. So it was amazing. 10 ball as well, we didn't do very well, really, because we don't have a 10 ball tables in Zambia, or if we do, it's just some few tables that we have, so it's difficult for them to train. They just go and train from the particular tournaments that they're having. So, but it's a good thing that Zambia Pool Union really had to feud in some of the players from the ladies category and of course the main category from these Hebo pool and of course the 10 ball pool as well as black ball. But in the black ball, we're still there, we're still doing great and we're looking good. We can even get into the knockout stages. At this time as we stand, Zambia is second. So it's round robin. So they will be playing against each other. For the ladies, for the main, they are about 7. And for the ladies as well, so they will be playing a round robin. So the top 2 will qualify into the next stage, that is in the quarterfinals, and of course that's the knockout stages. So obviously we'll see Zambia qualifying to that. But I think we've been champions before, so we need to, especially the men, they've been 2-time champions, so they need to get through and win this particular one and get into the semi-finals and probably the finals and win it. It's very possible. Coming through to this, obviously we are just talking about now continental football. It's amazing to see that Zesco United really, Power Dynamos representing Zambia and Zesco United representing Zambia, they are all back home and they're playing at home, and this is going to be an amazing game, especially for Power Dynamos who are playing against RS Bekane. And as it stands, RS Bekane is on top of the table at this moment, second on top of Power Dynamos. And hopefully they will do better in terms of how things are just going to be for RS Bekane. For Power Dynamos, what they need to do is win their game. If they win their game, obviously they'll get 7 points. And once they get to 7 points, they will be just a point behind RS Bekane. And that they will be the same points as RS Bekane. And that is just going to be a good thing for Zambia, for Power Dynamos. And we'll be expecting a lot more for them. And talking about Zesco United also, Zesco United will be playing against Zamalek. For Zesco United, it's the end of the road because they haven't really won any game at this particular moment. As we stand, they haven't won any single game, which is a very sad situation for Zesco United. They're done. We only have 2 games to play. And it's just about gaining some, some experience from continental football. And they have to really get back at home and, of course, play their game. So that they can even get back into the Absa Cup. Obviously, they still have a game to play against Zanaco, which is going to see them, if they will qualify or not into the next round of fixtures. So for Zesco United, it's a done deal. It's done, completely dusted. But of course, for Power Dynamos, they still have a chance. All they have to do is just win their games, and probably if they win the 2 games, they will qualify to the quarterfinals in the knockout stages that they will qualify to. And for the first time in the longest time, that our Zambian team will be playing in the knockout stages. Just like it is for them to play in the group stages. It's been a while. And we'll be hoping and rooting for Power Dynamos because they're not representing Zambia. They're not representing Power Dynamos or Yellow. They are representing Zambia. You and I are being represented by Power Dynamos. So you have to support them. So Power Dynamos will be playing on Saturday at Levi Monawasa Stadium. And of course, tickets are on sale already. Zesco United will be playing against Zamalek. They will be playing on Sunday at Levi Monawasa Stadium. And I do believe that a lot of people would like to see Zamalek. Back in the days, we would hear about Zamalek and everybody else would come through and support and watch this particular game. But let's see how Zesco United is going to end. At least they have to end in a very good way because they haven't really won any game. No points, 0 points. At least they need to get a point or 2 before they close out or they are dropped out. Let's get into the National Division 1. We've got so many games. This is week 22. One of those games that I'm looking at is this game that is going to be Aguila Stars. Will be playing at... a lot of people will be talking about this beautiful game against Aguila Stars. Do have the likes of Chisambalungu, in their midst. Of course, one of the coaches, and they will be playing against McKenna All-Stars. McKenna All-Stars are topping the table, so they will be looking forward to see what they can really do and what they can offer at this particular moment. And then we do also have Ndola United versus Ron United. I've picked Ron United because they've got a bereavement. The chairman died, which is unfortunate, but I think they're giving back to the chairman and for the support and for everything that is done for this particular team, getting back from the doldrum to playing elite football. I think they've done very well. These are some of the teams that used to be back in the days when we were growing up. We would hear about Ron United. They used to call them stylish Ron United in Wansha, and they've brought a little bit of some stability in terms of football. They had the likes of Collins Ntofonto from Mbesuma. I'm sure you've heard of that name. Collins Mbesuma came from Ron United, which is a good thing, and he's supporting. And some of these children obviously learned how to play football. Yes, from South Africa mostly, but I think they know and understand Zambian football too, because that's where the roots are coming. That's where his father is coming from, and his father Kajia used to play football in Zambia. But anyways, that's just one of those things that we'll be looking forward to and see how things are just going to be. Those are some of the other games and the fixtures. I think you can see, pick a team that you would like to go and watch and enjoy that game. In the MTN Fast Super League, we'll start today. Obviously, 3 games that will be played today. We've got one of those beautiful games. Mighty and Ferrounders will be playing against Mines United. Mines United has got Council of Elders. Not in... I know that Mundu, they do have a Council of Elders as well, they picked. But this is in football. There's what they call Council of Elders that they've put at Mines United. Unfortunately, the Council of Elders are not really making a lot of differences or change because we've got the likes of Babu Maritoli, Modern Maritoli, Kenneth Maritoli being part of this particular Council of Elders. But the team looks like they're really going down into National Division 1. Then we've got Tinkana, who will be playing at home against FC Leopards. And obviously later on this afternoon. And of course, we do have another game that will be coming, Mutondo Stars versus Nchanga Rangers. It's another big game that will be coming through. But obviously, other games will be played on Saturday. One big game is for those of you in Lusaka, you can go and watch at Timboila Stadium. There is a big game that everybody else can go and watch. Not really big in terms of, you know, but I think it is, because that's the only game that we have, or the 2 games that we have in Lusaka. FC Moves against Zanaco. A very beautiful game that everybody else should look out for and watch this particular game. And then we've got Green Buffaloes versus Inkwazi, another game that a lot of people should be watching in Boiler Stadium and of course Sunset Stadium. And let's get to the under-20. I know that you're itching to talk about the under-20, really, and this is a great thing, because the under-20 do have some of the under-17 that went to the World Cup. So it's a good thing. It's a mixture of under-17 and under-20 in this particular team. And the under-17 that went to the World Cup, they know how it feels to go and participate at the World Cup. They did well to move out of the group stages and get into the knockout stages, where we were beaten in the knockout stages. They did well, really. They did very well, and for the first time. And they qualified to the World Cup back-to-back. And under-20, really, this is the language that they will be speaking, the language of winning, the language of making sure that they get back to Poland. They get the ticket to go to Poland, and they will be playing against Uganda, acclimatizing. As you can see those pictures there, they really did well in terms of getting to know how the weather and everything else is in Uganda. And probably the next game will be in Zambia. That's next week. That will be playing in Zambia. And let's go get the tickets. The tickets are on sale already. So for those of you who'd love to get the tickets, you can get your tickets for next week's game. But of course, we have to watch. And what I always say, when you are playing away, go and kill the carcass, so that we come and eat it at home. So we'll be waiting to eat and feast this carcass when Uganda comes back to Zambia to play against this. And obviously, when they win this particular game, or whoever is going to win this game between Uganda and Zambia, they will play either South Africa or Ghana. So that is how things are looking like, and probably that's the last round who get them a ticket to go and participate at the World Cup in Poland. So that's much more that we have in terms of sports.
The renovations at Hero Stadium.
Wow, it's amazing.
Almost
it's really
complete.
Amazing. No, we far, but I think for me, just the first step is what we're waiting for, because the turf was kind of bad. But when I went to Hero Stadium and just looked at the turf, and I was like, okay, I think something is being done. We are moving at the snail's pace. I think by now it could have been checked. FIFA could have even come in to check the stadium and see. But there's so many things that are hindering. Like, for example, there's a roof. That roof is, no Zambian can do that in terms of working on that roof.
Okay.
So they tried to get contractors and they failed to do it. Some of them were just coming and looked at the roof, looked at the material, and they go for good without saying anything. They just leave. Others were coming, oh, we can do it. And they say, oh, do it. It doesn't matter the amount because it's insured. So the insurance is supposed to pay and everything. So they just look at it and they were like, oh my goodness, the texture and everything, they can't just do it. And for me, this is why I feel that whenever we have contractors who are coming from abroad, I think we need to have a chance to, especially our local engineers, to understand the sophistication of the materials that they're using.
Yeah.
Because imagine if it was a simple material, somebody would have done it already. But that sophisticated kind of material that is there is really difficult. But of course, they've already spoken to some Chinese company that is going to do it, and probably they're working on it. As soon as that is done, probably they're just waiting for the TEF and the cleaning and everything else. The runways, of course, they have to work on them and then refurbish it. And one good thing is that also Independence Stadium is going to be refurbished, which is a good thing because I think other games will be played out there because there are so many other teams that plays from Independence Stadium, so they should be using that. So Hero Stadium also, I think once it's done, I think we should do away. Not that I don't like prayers.
We should do away with prayers?
We should. I think this is one thing that I always talk about because they should have built a bigger boardroom where they can have these particular, concerts and whatnot, where they can just put them. But we've got a place. We've got that place is vast. They can just build from around there, so that at least this is where we should be having such kind of concerts, prayers and whatnot instead of the TEF, because we don't have something to cover up, because the way the Bernabeu is built, Madrid in Madrid, Spanish La Liga, Bernabeu, you know that TEF goes down. It's cover up, so it's covered, so you can never tell that there is TEF here. So it goes down, probably for safekeeping and the temperature at the same temperature that they really need to keep it. So we don't have that, and this TEF doesn't really like putting tables, putting chairs, putting rings and whatnot, so it's going to be destroyed. We have to really safeguard it. I think one thing that we don't really do in Zambia is maintenance. We're really bad when it comes to maintenance, and I think we need to find a way on how we're going to safeguard it and make it better.
All right. Thank you so much for coming through to our breakfast show. It's always a pleasure.
It's always beautiful to be here. I hope you started your gym.
I'll start next week.
No, you have to. Next week when I get back on Monday, I should be talking to you about gym.
I'll start.
I'll take it personal. I'll speak to somebody from there.
Please do. All right, that has been all. That is all from us on the Sunrise Breakfast Show right here on Prime TV2. I hope that you did have a great time with some of the guests that we did feature on our show today. Being a Friday, I do hope that you enjoy the rest of your weekend. From me and my co-host Dominic, it is goodbye and enjoy the rest of your day.
Early in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste of home. Mama in the kitchen, we never eat alone. Primarily meal, the taste of home.
Primarily meal, pure, proudly Zambian, the taste of home.
the ANC lost its parliamentary majority for the first time, a significant setback for the former ruling party. Now, Stin Hussein has led the pro-business DS since 2019 and currently serves as Minister of Agriculture in Cyril Ramaphosa's